We are back and excited to welcome our next guest. You know her from NBC, CNN, and as CEO of a multi-platform media production and distribution company, Starfish Media Group, Soledad OBrien. Hi, Soledad. How are you?
Hi. I'm great.
So good to have you. Now, we're also joined today by the CEO and co-founder of the Professional Collegiate League, Ricky Volante. Soledad, Ricky, we are so happy to have you joining us. Welcome.
Thanks a ton.
So let's get started. Soledad, I wanted to ask you just to start things off, with everything that's going on in the world right now, your professional opinion, how do you feel that the media is handling, letting us hear the news today? Like, how do you feel they're doing in terms of reporting the news?
So I'm going to start with, I'm loving your outfit, and that jumper is so cute. It's literally been months since I've had my hair professionally done, and I love it.
Oh my God, my day is made.
There you go. Mine too.
My day is made.
Listen, the media obviously is a massive entity. The media is not one group or 10 groups or even 100 groups. The media, so it's hard to sort of say, because I think there are tremendous journalists who are doing some really great work. I also think we always struggle with people who I think are not doing such a great job. It is disappointing to me that we are in the middle of the biggest public health crisis of the last 100 years, and we get a lot of conflicting information, not from great sources, but from some other sources that aren't so great, about what people should be doing to protect themselves during a pandemic. We've sort of, the pandemic reaction has been politicized, and that's very, historically speaking, unusual. It just doesn't happen that way. And so I think, the media's done a great job, and some people have, and a terrible job, and other people have. And I think that's because the country's particularly divided at this moment. But I part of what the media generally has done is to pose stories as this versus this, and they're not always that way, right? So when you see a lot on cable TV, people yelling at each other, right? You pick someone from this side and someone from that side, and then they kind of just yell at each other. I used to do TV like that. I don't think it's particularly illuminating, and I don't think it's particularly helpful, right? So I think if you want to educate people about a pandemic, you make some rules, like only experts will be allowed on to talk about it. People don't get to share their feelings about a disease. We're going to elevate the people who are scientists and who know. Right. And so I think the media could do a better job, generally speaking, by making sure that they're using their platform to just elevate things that are factual and true. And I think, generally speaking, there's been some sloppiness on that.
Absolutely. So let's talk about your production company, Starfish, right?
Sure. Well, we changed the name recently. It's Soledad OBrien Productions, but Starfish was our original name as well. It was from a doc that I'd done. But, people were asking me sometimes to put myself into the title of the company. So our second line is Soledad OBrien Productions, which is S-O-B. Sometimes works for certain projects, and other projects it doesn't work quite so well.
Right. I like that too. So now we want to move forward, right? Yes. Ricky, we want to bring you into the conversation here. First of all, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So we want to know, can you tell us a little bit more about the Professional Collegiate League, how you started it, and what it's all about for people who are not as familiar?
Yeah, so what we're trying to do with the Professional Collegiate League is create a paid alternative to the NCAA that would provide employee status and salaries to college athletes while participating in our league. And then additionally, our affiliated nonprofit entity would provide them with scholarships to attend 4-year, 2-year accredited trade and vocational programs and community colleges in the areas that they play. I'm one of the co-founders. There's 3 others. Andy Schwartz, an economist out of California, Keith Sparks, former associate athletic director at Stanford, and David West, our COO, former NBA player and 2-time NBA champion.
Very interesting. Now, Soledad, I have to ask then, why did you agree to join the PCL advisory board?
Obviously, they needed my basketball prowess. I'm kidding. But really, it's because of Ricky and the team generally, right? There was a sense of, for me, just what's fair. right?
Right.
What's fair to college athletes? And they are responsible for massive amounts of money and they don't get access to that. And often it's just a very big struggle if you're a college athlete. And so I thought that what they were trying to do made a lot of sense just in terms of fairness. That's why I came on board. And trust me, nobody wants to hear my opinion about basketball at all. But I do have a pretty well-honed sense of fairness and justice and have spent a lot of time reporting on it. And so any way in which I can be part of telling that story of what they're trying to do, which I think is really, really essential, then I'm happy to be part of the team.
Well, we have to thank you both so much for being with us. This was truly an honor. Now, coming up, we're going to be snacking on some recipes that help us to sneak in some veggies. Plus, we're going to talk health, hydration, and much more.